Good morning, class.
Good morning.
So I like to start off with funny stories to get everybody awake since it's really early in the morning. So who can tell me something really funny or weird that they might have done to get money? Keep it modest.
So I didn't do it, but when I first started college, I went to Target and walked in, and there's a guy getting his really long hair shaved for $50 cash. Just did it in front of everybody. Thought that was really weird.
That is pretty crazy.
And they were trying to convince girls to do it, and I'm like, oh, no.
No.
I'm good.
Anybody else have one?
Gave blood and plasma over and over again.
You got one for that? Pretty cool. I have a funny one. Well, I think it's funny. When I was about 7, me and my brother never got along because he's 8 years older than me, and so obviously I was just the annoying little sister. And one day he was playing with my light bright. Do you guys remember the light bright where you stick in the little pegs? Well, he was playing with mine, and even though I hadn't seen it in months, when he got it out, I was like, I want that. And so I bugged him for a really long time, and he gave me $20 just to leave the room. And I didn't take it. I don't know why. I probably should have taken it. So today we're going to talk about your money attitude. Does anybody have an idea of what a money attitude might be? Good, that's why I'm here talking. Okay, so I have some situations that describe different money attitudes, and I would like for us to read them aloud. So who would like to read the first one? It's Rosa.
Rosa's got game. Rosa wants to go to college and then on to law school. Her dream is to one day become a judge in family court so she can protect the rights of kids. Because Rosa is committed to her dream, she saves her money. Whenever she reaches an allowance from her foster care family or money from her grandparents, she puts most of the money into the bank. Her foster care family helped her set up a savings account at a bank so she could safely save her money. Rosa is what we call a saver.
A saver. So who can name some of the characteristics that Rosa had that made her a saver?
Persistent and saying persistent.
She had a goal.
Dedication.
Great. All right, you can pass that next. Who wants to read it next? The next one.
The second part.
Wendell loves to spend money. He loves to buy things. Whenever his birth mother sends him money, he spends all of it almost immediately on something he wants, fast food meals or some CDs. Wendell lives in a group home and doesn't get an allowance, so he likes to treat himself whenever his mom sends him money. But he sometimes buys many things, like trading cards that he gets tired of in just a few weeks. When he has money, he says, "It burns a hole in my pocket." Wendell is a spender.
So what are some characteristics of a spender?
He doesn't value anything.
Irrational.
That's right. What'd you say?
Yellow. The yellow attitude.
We'll put it down. All right, pass it to the next person.
Jose wants a computer. He knows that computer skills will help him get a good job after he finishes college. He makes money now by working a part-time job at a fast food restaurant. He also gets an allowance from his foster care family for chores he does around the house. When Jose gets his paycheck or allowance, he always divides it up. Part of the money he uses to save for things he wants, like a computer. Part of his money he saves for college. The last part of the money he gives to his grandmother, who is on Social Security. Jose is getting interested in investing. He sees investing as a way of making his money work for him. Jose wants his money to grow so it can help him reach his goal of becoming a computer programmer. Jose is a planner.
Jose sounds like a really sweet boy. Giving his grandma money.
I feel like none of these children have good parents.
Okay, what are some characteristics of a planner?
Invest in specific areas.
Future goal.
He understands the value of money.
story on the next page if somebody will read it.
Sometimes people worry about money. They have a hard time spending money, and they will worry that they'll never have enough. This describes Tanya. Tanya has a hard time spending money, even on things that she needs. Last week, Tanya went shopping because she needed new sneakers. The tread on her old ones was nearly gone, but she couldn't make herself buy a new pair, even though it was a good pair at a good price. She was afraid she might be caught short on money. Tanya became so nervous that she walked out of the store and decided not to think about the sneakers, at least for a while. Tanya is a worrier.
And what are some characteristics of a worrier?
Don't spend.
Yeah. Frugal.
How can I have to spell frugal? I know, but
That's right.
try.
Got it.
Stressed.
Right. They stress out over little things. So now I want everybody to get out a piece of paper. And after reading these 4 different situations, and we wrote down a few of the characteristics on the board, I want you to write down on your paper which money attitude you think you might have. And it's okay to have 2 or 3. Some people have 3 depending on the situation.
I'm a spender and a worrier. I'm like worried all the time. I'm like, oh hell, I'm just gonna buy it.
And then also after you write down which attitude you have, tell me why you checked that box. Or not the box, but why you picked the one that we wrote up on the board. Yes,
Are we sharing right now? Is that?
in just a minute.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Once everybody gets in. Okay, who would like to share which money attitude they have? Yes.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go with a combination of spender and warrior, which is really weird, but like I like to buy things like clothes, but then I have like buyer's remorse immediately afterwards, going like, oh, I should return this, I don't really need it, and I usually keep it anyway, so it's a bad combination.
Right. Yes.
I am also the same, spender and a worrier, and it causes for like super anxiety. Just because I hate to spend money, I get super nervous about it. I think that I'm gonna need it for an emergency, but then I stress myself out so bad about it that I become an emotional spender, and I'm just like, screw it, I don't even care. I'm gonna spend everything in my bank account, so I'm just gonna start from scratch.
Good. Yes.
I think I'm a spender, planner, and a worrier. This is the reason why. So I plan to save money, but I never do save and I spend it. And that's not worrying about trying to plan something else. Because I bought something I didn't really need. So I'm all 3.
Right.
But not a saver.
Well, I can understand that. Sometimes I feel like I'm all of these too, depending on the situation. So, thank you guys for reading all that and doing that. So now, what we're going to do to help you guys out in all these situations is figure out what types of things that you need and what types of things that you want. So throw out some things that you have bought in the last week.
Shoes.
Clothes, shoes, food.
Food.
Passport,
A candle.
t-shirt. Oh, clothes is okay.
Jewelry.
Coffee.
Rent.
Soft food.
I bought my passport.
Science has a great fall brew.
Alcohol.
Who?
Nice.
Oh, really?
It's made. It's really
Okay.
Makeup.
Oh.
Football ticket.
Yay.
Going to that exam.
Oh, wait, then you never use it.
Anything else? All right. So now I need a volunteer Anybody? Sarah, second here first. So I would like you to put a star by the things that you think are a need.
If you don't want to put one next to game tickets, I don't think you should do it.
I think you have to put one by makeup. For me, anyway.
So sometimes we just need to step back and realize what are the things that we need and what are the things that we want. Does anybody disagree with what she put stars by for a need?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little biased, so definitely makeup. I think that girls really don't need it, honestly. And gas is not a need.
Right, so you don't need makeup to live, so we're probably gonna.
I think I also disagree with rent because I know people that live on the streets that are still like alive. I mean, look guys, let's be real, there's people all over the world that don't live in houses.
Well, I consider rent as shelter, so I think we might need a roof over our head.
We
I don't
just-
think
we
they
just-
want to live on the street.
We want to be successful.
Well, that's the one. They don't want to, but they, you know.
Anything else? You think she got her something right?
I think clothes, as far as like, if you have clothes already to wear, then it's not a need to buy new ones. But if you really like don't have clothes to wear, then it would be a need to buy them.
Right, that's very true.
If you're at school with a meal plan, you don't need to go to Walmart every day and spend like $40 on food. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because I bring my lunch from home, which at one point in time, that food was already bought, but you don't have to spend money, like, I don't have to spend money at Maples every day. I can, like, bring what I already have.
So sometimes if you just take a step back and realize, I already have good clothes in the closet. I don't need to go buy a new shirt to go out this Friday. Let me just wear what I wore last month. Or if you already have bread at home, you should probably make a sandwich instead of choosing to eat at Mabel's. And also makeup. You guys look pretty without it. Okay. Okay, so another thing that really helps me when I am trying to think about where my money should go or how that I should balance my money is knowing how to correctly write a check and also how to balance my checkbook.
It's a good workshop.
So the first thing we're going to do is everybody pass around and get a check, and we're going to talk about how to fill out a check correctly, because sometimes you can make simple mistakes that can cost you.
but can't you always use your debit card?
You can, but some places don't take debit cards and you have to do a check. Like when I'm taking up candle money. I don't have a
Which I'm selling.
debit card here.
Which is a need.
You need candles. John Q said, we're halfway to my name, y'all.
Did everybody get one?
Just
Are
cross
there any
it out.
extras?
Wait.
Can I see those? Alright. So when you're paying to the order of, we're going to use the grocery store for example. So let's go with Kroger. We're going to be shopping at Kroger today. So first of all, make sure when you're shopping at Kroger and you're going to write a check to them that you're going to write Kroger right here. Make sure that you can actually buy what you need. You're also going to date it because sometimes checks, if you wait too long to use them, they're not going to take them at the bank. And you need to write the correct dollar amount here, and also you want to write it out here. You want to make sure that they match, because if they don't match, you could have some conflict. So let's say that we're going to use $47.64. So you would make sure to write it here and then also write it out down here. And then always make sure and sign your name. Sometimes when people don't sign their name, you actually can't take the check. And you want to make sure that your checks are up to date as well. So in this top right corner, if your checks are not up to date, and say if you weren't watching where your money was going very wisely, your check may bounce and they can't get a hold of you, so you're putting the business at a loss, which isn't very nice. So does anybody want to let me check their check and make sure they did it right? Drew, did you do yours right? Looking good. Looking good. Good. All right, now I have mock balance books. They normally are in a small book that's folded. And we're not going to pay attention to the things that are already written on there, so just ignore those. You didn't write on your check.
How long does it take for a check to expire?
It depends on your bank. Sometimes it's 30 months. Sometimes it's months. Well, I know at my bank, if you don't use the check within a month, then they won't accept it.
Well, thank you.
The order credit union, they go in 3 locations and they're all in one
If I have a
county.
check that's like 5-6 months, you know,
They may not pay it. That's how my personal bank is, so maybe not all banks are like that. Alright, so of the things that we said we needed, we're going to write these down and how much they cost. So rent a month. Somebody yell out their rent. Alright, grocery. Somebody yell out their grocery bill.
140.
140. And gas.
150.
Oh.
Alright, for those of you that have pets, we'll count in some pet food. How much would you spend on your pet food a month?
Probably about, I would say about 80.
80?
That's a lot.
It's a big dogs.
Lots of pets. Okay, so is there anything else you think we should add to the list of things that we're going to be buying every month as a college student?
Game tickets.
So we'll put in fun activities.
Mhm.
And how much do you think that you spend on these activities a month? $50?
150 maybe?
what?
Some months it gets a little expensive.
Okay, now let's say maybe you don't have any help from your parents, and they're not helping you afford this. And the what?
Cell phone bill.
Oh yeah, let's put in cell phone bill.
120.
How much is your cell phone?
Mine's like, maybe I have
It's what?
90.
90? Okay. Any other things you think we should add?
Car insurance.
Insurance?
Mine's high. Mine's mine.
Mine's $600.
Mine's $235 a
But
month.
it's every 6 months.
Oh.
Anything else?
1 minute.
Alright, so you have all these things to pay for, and say you don't have help from your parents and you're working a minimum wage job. So you're probably going to be bringing in $400 to $500 a month. I mean a week. And then we'll do 400. Does anybody disagree?
For a week or
A week? For the 2 weeks?
two. That was two.
Okay, so we'll do 400 over 2 weeks. So basically that would mean that you're making $800 a month. So you have all these expenses, which are obviously going to be more than $800. So when you're balancing out your checkbook, and you're writing your check number over here on the right, and then you're going to put your date in on the day that you pay things, and then write down what those are going to, and then also you're going to put how much you spend. And if you plug all those things in on your balance book, then you're going to come out negative, which isn't good because you can backdraft, and some of the bank charges are very pricey, ranging from like 20 to 50. It may even go higher. So it's very important to know how much money you have in your bank at all times, which you need to utilize your checkbook, And also remembering what your money attitude is and how the things that we talked about today can affect what you buy, when you buy them, and how to save. So thank you guys for listening today.